Sup guys, dinofries here, and I don't fear the Reaper. And that's why I checked out the game Have a Nice Death, a 2D action roguelite where you play as Death, CEO of Death Incorporated, who currently finds himself teetering on the edge of burnout. Let's dive in, shall we? Alright, so at the top of this review, let's just get the story out of the way. It's quick, all right, because it doesn't really matter. This is a roguelite. Basically, you're Death. You're trying to discipline your unruly employees by kicking their asses, and there's like loads of lore behind this game. It's just behind like dialogue after dialogue with the good employees in the game, and you just talk to them. They always have like an explanation point above their head, and you talk to them, but it gets old really fast. There's just like all this text, and I just spam beep 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 beep. Now on to more important stuff like presentation. Have a Nice Death looks amazing. All right, Death himself is this adorable little Grim Reaper, and he has like this little Death Notebook following him around. Most of the scenery behind and around him is like black and gray and gloomy and bleak, but in like an aesthetically pleasing way. You have this scythe, and you have these spells and the weapons, and they're not dark and gray. They kind of glow like purple and green, like different colors like that. The enemies as well, sort of the NPCs. Those guys, these things stand out against these gloomy and bleak backgrounds. There's also the headquarters, like the office where you work at. This is where you are sent every time you die. So this is like your home base where you make upgrades and things like that. And it's cute. I like it. It's like a little office place, and you could decorate it, spending money. I chose the Halloween theme, so that was nice. However, the presentation is also really bad because there's just too much blacks and grays. Every single level, you'll notice, like the first level, it's a bunch of blacks and grays, and then you get to the next level and it's pretty much the same. Sometimes the levels are like have like an orange or green or purple or blue tint to them, but beyond that, like not much diversity. Also, like Death is really small on the screen, and you can't tell like where the enemies are and what's happening a lot of the time, because like I mentioned, like they pop out, like they're not like hidden. You could see them, but it's just not enough. I really wish they like had things outlined or just a little bit more vibrant, because I actually made tons of mistakes along the way just because I couldn't really see what was going on. Like they should have made I guess the background could have stayed, but everything else, NPCs, enemies, like Death himself, all these attacks and stuff, they should have made it more vibrant and outlined, I think. But the music is really nice. It fits the vibe perfectly. You know, it's like spooky, but in like an upbeat kind of way. And I thought the sound effects were very good. When you return to the office, like your home base after dying, and you have to start over, which is frustrating. You're welcomed with the, how does it again? Oh, welcome to the afterlife. And I sang that every time I got back, and it makes dying feel less bad. Now I haven't even talked about the gameplay yet, right? Okay, so you're Death, right? Not Death itself, but the CEO, not the active dying itself. You're the Grim Reaper, and you die a lot because this game is hard. So this is a roguelite, of course, and you go from floor to floor, killing enemies, and you choose like what reward is at the end of the floor. You have a choice between 2 or 3, and you basically pick whatever is in accordance with the build you're going for. Although be warned that shit is really random. Like sometimes you'll get a really sick build going on and you're just dominating. Other times you're just dealt like with kind of a shitty hand. There's really nothing you can do about it, and you die, and you're kind of just like, well, that wasn't my fault. I just got bad luck. Also, there's shops and like a room to upgrade your scythe and your spells and your weapons. You get currency from picking up enemies. You fight mini bosses. At the end of each world is a big boss, which you have to defeat to advance. There's also curses you pick up, which are just upgrades. You know, they boost your attack or your health or your magic, or they add effects like poison or bleed or burn, or like you kill an enemy and butterflies pop out, or like you hit something and lightning comes down, things like that. They're just upgrades to make death more powerful. And also, just want to go back at the home base, this is a roguelite. You die, you start over, but they do reward you for the progress you made. You have levels and you have gold. The more levels you get, the more boosts you get before you start a level, and you use the gold you pick up to purchase more, to unlock more weapons and food and things like that. Also like decorations, but that's not really mandatory. That's just for show. Okay, let's talk about the meat and potatoes, right? The combat. It's good. It's not Hades level, but it's good. Death moves very fluidly, jumping and dashing around. You have like a bunch of different things you can do. Like with your scythe, for example, there's like, you mash, and you hit a combo. There's like a down attack move. You do different attacks in the air. And then you also have your spells and your weapons. And, I always had a really fun time in levels, but mostly only when I had a good build. But yeah, as I mentioned, there's spells, there's mana, there's weapons you pick up besides the scythe. Those are on cooldowns, so not mana. And so you only can have 2 at a time, so you can hold 2 spells or 2 weapons. And there's also an ultimate that you build up, and your scythe, there's also different scythes, but each scythe has its own separate ultimate. Each spell has its own separate ultimate, and each weapon has its own separate ultimate. So the diversity of the combat, I think it works. I think they gave you exactly what you need to be able to like learn what works best for you. And there is like repetition, but there's also like enough depth to make things not boring. So now I want to talk about my experience with the game, besides just describing to you guys what it is. Have a Nice Death, it's challenging, but it's fun. But it's also frustrating. Enemies and bosses especially, they deal way too much damage, and like every time you get hit, you're like, fuck, like that's gonna set me back. There's potions you obtain and you can use them freely, but they're like, you only can hold 3, or at least that's the default, and they don't heal you that much, and they're like limited. Like you're not sure when you use a potion when's the next time you're gonna get a potion. And also like right at the beginning, the first time you die, you unlock easy mode, where you start off with better heals and you take less damage from enemies. And also again, like leveling gives you, the more you progress, the more levels you get and things get easier. But I got up to level like almost 12, and I had easy mode on, and shit was still difficult. Basically, my strategy was to just focus on like what was best for the bosses at the end of the level, because that's like the real challenge, really. I mean, going through the level and fighting enemies isn't too challenging. You're basically just playing it really safe. You're just trying to kill the enemies down, and not take any damage, because you know you're going to take damage when you get to the bosses. So my strategy was always to find a ranged spell, so one that used mana, and also like a ranged weapon, which again is on cooldown, not mana. And I would basically just focus on dodging the boss and attacking from far away, and then going in and using my scythe whenever the boss was stationary and not attacking. I also would pick up curses that boosted my health and my spells and weapons, not so much my scythe. Whatever boosted like mana or spell damage or made my HP go higher. Just I needed survivability, and this was working out pretty well for me. You can also do this thing where you skip the first world. You can actually skip, I'm pretty sure, every world as you get higher and higher level, but very soon you unlock the skip to go to the first boss. His name is Brad. He's a douche. And I would always skip because I didn't want to keep going through the first world again. It's just annoying. And so I always skipped. And yeah, I lost out. You lose out on rewards from going through the first world. But the skip is too enticing. I mean, you know, I just want to get back in there and start closer to where I left off and where I died. But unfortunately, things just get harder after Brad, because like this game is inherently challenging, but also this game is fucking broken, at least on the Nintendo Switch. Now here's where you get to the part of the video where I am angry. Okay, so for starters, every time you enter an elevator in Have a Nice Death, you hit a loading screen. That is ridiculously long. It takes so much time that you could go out for a smoke and come back before it's even done. Like, I would keep pulling out my phone to scroll Twitter in between floors. I don't want to do that, dude. Roguelites are like, you want to play a roguelite and you want to be sucked in. You want to just be oh, I died, fuck it, let's bring it back. And you can with this game because of you have to go on an elevator for every floor. So just think about that for a second here. You start the game, elevator. You beat Brad, elevator. You go to a break room, elevator. You get to every single floor, there is an elevator. And it makes dying so much more frustrating, not because you have to start over, because you have to go through all these elevators again. And it sucks, dude. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's lag. Like an unstable amount of fucking lag. I don't know if this issue is across all platforms, but for the Nintendo Switch, there is just like inexcusable lag. The frame rate drops the second you get off the elevator on almost every floor, and then it even lags when fighting. So it's not like, okay, well, I'll get off the elevator, frame rate drops. No, they're just loading a new level. It's fine. Nope. Even when you're fighting enemies, there's lag. Remember how I said this game was challenging? Good luck fighting hard enemies with and having to deal with the lag. Good luck dodging, there's lag. And like, especially in boss fights, dude, like that shit's hard. And bosses take away like a third, a half, fourth of your health. And so like you have to deal with the lag when fighting them. Even Brad, there was lag. He throws rocks and you try to dodge them, but if there's lag, you get hit. Boom, your run is already starting off shitty. Especially, dude, I got up to the boss of the third world. I had this sick build. I had bees and fire arrows, which was like perfect for me. Both really good weapons. I can say they home in on the boss. I was keeping back, ranging it up, really playing it safe, but the lag fucked me up and I died. So that was that. And finally, the nail in the coffin, pun intended. So I was playing this game for about a little over 6 hours, I'd say at this point. Right? Remember I just said I died on that boss after having a sick build? Well, I was like, okay, fine, run it back. I want to beat this game. I want to get past where I haven't gotten past yet. Maybe I can get a dope build again. I reached an impassable obstacle. The game just fucking broke on me. There was this level I got to. There's sometimes they give you like speed tests where you have to like dodge stuff, and if you beat that, you get a reward, or you have to collect all these coins and the amount of time they give you and you get a reward. So I guess I don't even know if I failed it or passed it, but I couldn't exit the floor. There was a barrier there and I couldn't leave. I tried to go up, I tried to see if I was missing something. Nope, I had to restart, and I was so close to getting back. I think I was like 1 or 2 floors away from getting back to that boss I died at before. And at this point, dude, I was done. I was done with Have a Nice Death. So done, in fact, that I requested a refund with Nintendo. And now you might be saying, you might be at home watching this saying, seriously, Karen? But yeah, seriously. And I got it, by the way. I got the refund. So thanks, Nintendo, which is rare, Nintendo W, and screw you, Magic Design Studios, for porting Have a Nice Death onto the Switch, but despite it being blatantly broken on this platform. Okay, I need to breathe. In conclusion, do not buy Have a Nice Death. Not on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it works on other platforms. I guess if you really want to play this game, look it up and try it on those platforms, because like this game had something going for it. If I didn't experience these dumbass problems, I would have kept playing and I would have beaten it. But I don't even know it's on the end now because I just couldn't deal with this bullshit. I'm warning you, don't buy this game on the Nintendo Switch. I got my $25 back, but you may not be so fortunate. I don't know, maybe I got lucky. Maybe I got a good customer service rep this time with Nintendo. But yeah, I mean, this game, like, it's not the best. Let me phrase it this way. It's no Hades. Okay, I gotta always bring that up. It's the gold standard of roguelites. It's not Hades, but it's a solid game. If there wasn't the bugs, I would say this game could be worth $25, maybe like 15 or 20. It's too bad too, because like I really liked the aesthetic. I thought the gameplay was fun. Like I was down to keep playing this game until I at least like beat the game once, but nope. Anyways, that's my review of Have a Nice Death on the Nintendo Switch. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, letting me know. While you're at it, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, buy my merch. And yeah, all right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.